Good morning, everyone. It is very nice to be here. And maybe it would be better if we can bring the Laddroller on stage. So, usually I don't speak with a script in my hand, and mostly because I prefer chatting with everybody of you and interact. But some days ago, they asked me to have something for the translators to make their lives a little bit better, a little bit easier. So this is different than the one you will see later, because this is the industrial model that we are ready to launch in some days from now. I took it from the factory just 2 days ago. So it is a first in the world, this presentation here. So today I will present you Laddroller. And I would love to show you what we have built, what an amazing device it is all about. This is Laddroller, an outstanding mobility device, a hybrid, the child between an exoskeleton and a wheelchair. We have developed a simple yet elegant solution in a mobility device that is amongst the best in the world. We have managed to elevate the user by making use of the motion of the wheels. Instead of expensive and complicated parts, and when the two sets of wheels come closer to each other, the whole geometry of the wheels changes and the user stands up instantaneously. Laddroller is a full-wheel drive, and thanks to the placement of the bigger wheels in the front, it is able to overcome obstacles, small architectural barriers, without the need of a ramp. It is a very lightweight device that gives to those challenged people the ability to travel in the standing position, a mobility device that tens of millions of wheelchair users worldwide will absolutely love. Let's see it again. I am architect Dimitris Petrotos, and I am the inventor of Laddroller, the shape-shifting mobility device. What I'm going to do today is to present you 4 main things. The first one is how come I came up with this crazy idea. What are the challenges wheelchair users face? What my team and I have done so far, so we were able to create this amazing device, and ask you to support our venture because we are set to create huge impact for all those millions of people users wheelchairs. Let's go back in time. Here we are. This is the nightmare of the scripted speech. So let's go back in time and meet Sarah. She was paraplegic due to an accident, and she hired us to remodel her house. Naturally, the first things to do would be to modify the kitchen and furniture, to make the bathrooms accessible, lower the light switches, and add some various mechanisms to make the people of those lives much easier. Believe me, I did the very same things. It is something trivial for an architect doing this kind of works. Suddenly, though, back then, we did not realize that even if we could change an apartment, it not would be able to go out and lower the whole world. And on top of that, we realized that we had created a nightmare for the people living in the same house with my client. Everything was in the very awkward place. Everything was low. It was impossible for them to use this new remodeled house. Have you ever thought how disabled people get their cash for an ATM? Hanging out with their friends, have a drink at the bar, or even continue to work. The whole world around us is built to be used in the standing position. This is how a competitive product looks like. It is heavy, complicated, and expensive. They are, of course, simpler and manual devices like this one, but when you are in the manual mode, you can't move around. You are in the upright position, and that's all. Only the Laddroller elevates the user instantly. And this is the only device that can overcome some small architectural barriers. On top of that, competitive products are full of complex mechanisms packed with batteries, and when they are drained, all those systems are dead. Laddroller instead, although a powered device, maintains all its functions, and even with the batteries drained out. And thanks to its lightweight device, and modularity, of course, it is easily portable even in the car of the medium car. The really interesting thing, though, is that nobody in the world, in the industry of wheelchair manufacturing, can bring all of Laddroller's characteristics in one single product. And the most important one is that Laddroller can be retailed at half the price of the whole industry. Laddroller's intellectual property is fully protected around the world, and we are in preliminary talks with notified bodies in Europe and in the US for clinical trials and approval. The way our final product will reach the market, and this is more or less the final product, not the one that you will see here because the video is like 1 week old. The final product will reach the market can be summarized in this diagram. We will manufacture the patented frame in 2 different versions. A totally innovative one in steel, like this one, and the second one in wood. A special version of Laddroller made exclusively for small kids with disabilities. For these 2 separate production lines, we will collaborate with the best in the market, the leading manufacturing company in customized steel fabrication in the steel version, and for the wooden one, we'll collaborate with the true pioneer in custom lamination and forming in Greece. For the rest of the components, we will be outsourcing electronics, batteries, and motors. And we are very lucky to have established a strong network of reliable partners. Partners that have really out-of-the-shelf products. A vast network of distributors around the world, and of course, great customer support. The final assembly of the device is fun and easy. Easy the way an IKEA furniture is assembled. And it can be put together in matters of minutes, even by the most unexperienced, in case those someone would like to have a ready-to-use Laddroller, we can deliver. And we can, because we have stipulated with the DHL a unique delivery option directly at their storefront anywhere in the world. Today, I am very excited to announce you that we are ready, obviously, for our first production run for those clinical trials. We are in discussions with the Paralyzed Veterans of America in order to have them conduct for us those clinical trials we need for the FDA approval in the United States. And we have at the same time a Laddroller acknowledged by a well-esteemed group of disabled users in the United States. Still, we have to move quickly. And for these reasons, we will promote intensively in order to communicate the benefits of using Laddroller. And there is more. Next week, we are launching our first funding campaign. We will funnel most of these funds to apply for the main patents we are pending right now, the main 3 patents that are pending right now, in the European countries that we consider as key markets. We are in discussion with, and of course, the United States. Following a conservative sales projection, selling 140 units by the end of this year, and just 265 by the end of the next one. Those are numbers of people that already have expressed the interest of buying one of these. So by the end of next year, you will reach the breakpoint even for all these 8 years of research and development of Laddroller. So by the second quarter of 23, we will average net profits of €400,000 for a total of 3.2 million by the next year. Remember this stainless steel frame showed you earlier. We are using this special alloy for the strength and durability it offers. You see, we are in discussions with one of the top players in micromobility in Europe. They are very interested in including Laddroller in their own network of devices. You know, the devices that you rent for a small period of time, you unlock, use them, and you left them when you arrive somewhere. They are very interested in including Laddroller in their own fleet of network of machines. In the open, in hundreds of cities Europe-wide. If that deal will be inked, the breakpoint mentioned earlier, it will be achieved much, much earlier. Laddroller will not only work as an effective last-mile solution, but it will also give to thousands of challenged people opportunities of a whole new level. They will be able to visit a park without the need of owning a device this special. They will still use their traditional wheelchair, and when they need something more powerful and potent and a Laddroller, we will rent for a short period of time these publicly available devices. If you look around you, there are innumerable actions in everyday life these people are excluded from, just because they are seated. Actions that you and me take for granted as able-bodied. More specifically, people with disability face complications because of their sedentary lives. They suffer from osteoporosis, they have circulation and respiration problems, they even die from heart diseases and infections. And for these reasons, they have to regularly attend sessions of physiotherapy and rehabilitation in a daily basis, maybe, in order to get the mobility they need just to stand up, because the human body is designed to do so. On the other hand, motor disability causes psychological side effects. These people have lost their autonomy. They often struggle to socialize, and the most important, they have lost eye contact with others. And this is why we are building Laddroller, to mitigate these problems and give those challenged people an elevated quality of life. This is why we invented Laddroller, something that has been proven every single time. A disabled user stood up using Laddroller, using this 5 years project. Laddroller ameliorates the lives of disabled people and the lives of their caregivers, will access better the labor market, where they will save money on home modifications, health systems will reduce their reimbursement costs, and these are only few of the measurable positive impact we are creating. We can calculate, though, the impact of a hug, the impact of eye contact, the impact of taking your child by the hand when leaving school. We strongly believe that societies prove their level of civilization where they help their members in need. And this is mostly why we have built Laddroller. It is a life-changing device capable to promote health, create independency, and untethered mobility. Thank you so much.
Temos un momento para facer algunha pregunta, se alguén ten algunha pregunta. Temos un pequeno problema co sistema de comunicación con Dimitris, entón Kiko vai ser o noso sistema de comunicación. Vamos a dar un micrófono a Kiko para que faga the translation questions for you. Maybe, se alguén ten algunha pregunta. Mira, temos aquí a Bárbara que ten unha pregunta xa directamente. Non se escoita o micro, un momentiño. Pero así queda...
Sí.
Xa está.
I can understand Italian, so maybe I will find some... maybe give me the thing.
It's not working, the app, so Kiko will translate.
You will do it, okay.
We can do Italian. Thank you very much.
Bárbara.
Gracias.
Okay, no, okay. Mr. Petrotos, Evkaristo, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I'm very interested in this project because my mother used to use a wheelchair.
Okay.
And did I understand right? You are opening like a funding phase in the next weeks. You are looking for money, for investors.
We always looking for money because we need to scale. Right now, a prototype like this costs an exorbitant amount of money, just because we are trying to build one-of-a-kind thing every single time. Now we are at the very advantageous position to have a manufacturing facility sharing the same dream with us that are willing to manufacture for us the first 100 units. 80 of those will be shipped in the United States in the Hospital of Veteran Americans, so they will use it and
pay for that.
They produce for us the clinical trials we need
Okay.
for free.
So you are looking for potential users of your chair.
The potential users, the people that already have reached us asking for a device already are between 800 and 1,000 people. But at the time we were not ready, we hadn't already find the manufacturing plant in order to make their dream come true.
Okay, so you are looking for money, for people, and for partners for your manufacturing.
The partners, more or less, we have,
you have them.
Find them.
And how many time do you need to build one of these? How long is the process of manufacturing?
Right now, from 2 days ago, it is a matter of producing 10 a day.
10 a day?
10 per day.
Wow.
Yes. The only bottleneck in this situation here are the batteries.
Okay.
Because there is a bottleneck with producing enough number of batteries in order to use this kind of motors. And this kind of motors is the second bottleneck, because they are made in Germany, and the plant in Germany was closed for a period of time due to COVID, and their production is a little bit slow.
But we trust
for
Germany.
The rest of the chassis, everything else is like 10 a day.
And where are the batteries placed? In the legs? In the batteries, where are
the
placed?
batteries are placed on those hubs here, but I couldn't bring from Athens here because the rating of the power, it is not allowed to have it inside the plane.
Yes, they thought you were below the plane.
I didn't know. I had to post them ahead.
Okay, and I'm not sure, I was a little late to your talk, sorry. Which is the price of a unit?
Right now, it's around 20,000 euros.
Okay. Thank you very much.
But it is a number that we're trying to lower as much as like 6,000 to 7,000.
Okay.
And this is a number that we're trying to arrive there because the insurance body in Greece, because we have the Greek's data until now, they can cover like 5,500 euros per year per user.
Okay.
So on top of that, it is an amount of money that they could afford.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the information.
Thanks.
Gracias, thank you. No sé si hay alguna otra pregunta. Sí.
Yes. So I have a question. I was wondering, when you have like you said this wheelchair is like half the price of like regular wheelchairs. So how did you manage to lower the costs so much if it's like a novel product? Because like usually...
I will tell you. Mm-hmm. It is the point that I show you how I made the conventional powered wheelchairs that can bring the user in the upright position. It would be here. Here. This is an actual product doing the very same things that Laddroller does, except the fact that cannot go on a curb, like from the road to go up to the place where pedestrians walk. So with Laddroller, you don't need the use of the ramp. So a product like this can't do it. But price-wise, they have tons of electromechanical parts and mechanisms that, first of all, cost. Secondly, they have huge level of maintenance. It is very complicated. It is not modular like this one, because you can take off the wheels and the batteries and toss it in the trunk of a medium car and go somewhere else to make vacations. This costs around 35 to 40,000 euros and does less than this one. And the moment we will be able to scale production, it will cost 3 to 4 times less. And this is achieved because the way this thing works is that it is the first patent we have. The moment the rear wheels come closer to the front wheels, the user stands up. It's like a scissors movement. When the wheels spread out, you sit. And this you can just control it with this joystick. You can go this for using the front wheels going forward, this one to have the rear wheels go backward, and you sit. It is gravity mostly that makes you sit. The other thing, when you make them be close to each other, you stand up. And we have just using the classic Swiss seat the climbers use in order to have you strapped in the standing position, because you can't push your feet, you can't use them. So it is a simple but yet elegant design to overcome a very complicated solution because in the last 50 years, the market is in the same place, only from the aspect of design it also. It is simple, it is the bare minimal, but makes the job done instantly, because with Laddroller, you stand up in a jiff. With this kind of machines, you press a button and you wait forever to stand up. This is how it works.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, gracias. We have time to... Sí, tenemos tiempo para una más.
Sí.
If the time is a problem, it's okay by me, but I made a huge trip just to answer your questions. So feel free to ask me afterwards everything you like.
Sí,
Okay.
we have time for one more question.
Thank you for the presentation. It was super interesting. And I was curious about the materials. So you showed 2 models, one made of steel and another one made of wood. And you mentioned that the wooden one was for children. And I'm curious about that design decision and the factors you considered for that. And yeah, thank you.
For the children?
For the children, yeah, for the wooden one.
I don't have, it is not in this setup of putting it here on this screen, but I can give you after the coffee break, the video with the small child using the wooden one. And we find out that small children prefer a wooden wheelchair, toy, you name it, because it's much closer to what they used to have. Not only those small kids with disabilities, but also their friends. And when children in a whole classroom have a friend using a wooden wheelchair that can go up with in a curb, can go in the sand, play all together, it is very much more acceptable to have a wheelchair made out of wood instead of metal and leather and all this materials for grown-ups. It doesn't cost more, it costs around the same, but it is much more acceptable, not only for the kids themselves, but also for their families, because there is a huge debate between families with disabled children and what they should really do. It is a topic for another conversation. But yes, this is the reason.
Okay, I think we have no
all right,
time for now. Se queredes falar con Dimitris, podedes facelo o rematar.
Anytime, everything, whatever you need.
Pues nada, pues un fuerte aplauso entón para Dimitris Petrotos.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Thank you.